Hello everyone, welcome to episode. My name is Amit and today we are going to see Redis cache with Spring Boot application. So first, let's understand how cache will increase the performance of our application. Let's say we have application called as a find weather, okay, or weather application, and we deployed into the Spring Boot application. Now here, this is a browser. From browser, user trying to access this Spring Boot application to get the weather detail. Now we are using here database. Inside the database, we have to store that weather information. Next thing is, see here, what is the problem? So let's say 1 million requests are coming to get the weather data. So Spring Boot application again will call to the database. How much time? 1 million time. Now if it is hitting to the database 1 million time, definitely database will get crash or that performance will get slow. Then what is the solution on this? Let me tell you. So in that case, we can use the cache. Okay, so what happened here? Let's say we've started the Spring Boot application. Now the first request will come for to get the weather detail. It will check inside the cache. If data is not there inside the cache, then it will hit to the database, and from the database it will get the weather information. After this, when second request will come, then it will check the data inside the cache. If data is there, then it will not hit to the database. It will pick the data from the cache. Then after that, any number of requests will come, it will get the data from the cache. That's it. So in that way we save the database call, and we can increase the performance of the Spring Boot application. Now what are the types of cache? Let me tell you. Okay, let me tell you. There are two types of cache. One is in-memory cache, another is distributing cache. Now here, if in case of in-memory cache, the caffeine cache is very famous. Okay, and that in-memory cache means we will create that cache inside the Spring Boot application. Advantage of this cache is it's very fast because it present inside our Spring Boot application. Disadvantage of that caching is this cache will get clear if our Spring Boot application stop. For example, that cache is storing 1 million records. Okay, and suddenly due to some reason, our Spring Boot application rebooted or stopped and again restarted. So in that case, it will that all the 1 million records will get cleared, and again it has to connect with the database and get the data. That means there is a chance of uh, losing the data. Okay, now what is the solution on that? We can go for distributing cache. Okay, so let's see about the Redis cache. Okay, so Redis is a type of distributed cache, and these are some examples of the distributed cache. So in which the Redis is very famous, and today we are going to see the Redis. Okay, so in case of Redis, we have to install separately Redis cache, okay, as a separate service like this. Let's say we have these three Spring Boot application, and we need some common data for that application. So instead of creating the in-memory cache here, we can create a separate copy of the cache. Okay, let's say called as a Redis cache. So it will run on the separate port as a separate application. Now that all three application will consume the data from this Redis cache. Okay, because the data is common here. Now next thing is if that Spring Boot application will get stopped, okay, due to any way, but still the data will be live here. The data will be present here. So that is the advantage of distributed cache. Apart from this, it provides some another features like clustering of the cache. For example, if we are using the single instance and that single instance will get stopped due to some reason, then again the same problem will be there. That data will get lost. Okay, we will lose that data. So to avoid that, we can go for the clustering. In clustering, we can create a multiple duplicate copies of that cache, and if any cache is getting update at the same time, that same data will get reflected into the all copies. So basically these all duplicate copies are in sync. Okay, and tomorrow if any if any cache from that copies will get stopped, so we will not lose the data because that three caches are live and it can hold all the data. Okay, so that's it. Now basically when we go for the in-memory cache and when we can go for distributed cache, let me tell you. We can go for in-memory cache because of or if we have small application, okay, then we can go for in memory. And if we have distributed cache or if we have multiple applications which need a common data, then we can go for the Redis caching. Okay, so that's all about the caching. Now let's see the next thing. Now let's see here how to install Redis. Okay, so basically you have to open this GitHub link, and you will see these 4 files. And don't worry about this link, I will provide this link into the description. Now the next thing is you have to download this, okay, .msi file. Once you download, okay, so click on that file. Now you will see this interface, so click on next, accept, click on next, and here you have to select here to add that installation folder in the environment variable. Okay, then click on next, and then this will be the port. Okay, on that port that Redis cache will get run. Then click on next, and you can provide here memory. Let's say I'm giving here 100 memory. Okay, so it's depend on you. Then click on next and install. Okay, yes, once you have installed, after this what you have to do, it's very simple. Let's open C drive. Okay, and then in the C drive, program files and Redis. Okay, Redis, and here you have to click on that Redis server, double click on that server. Okay, so that's it, that means it is running. Now what is next? The next thing is, let's check that Redis is running or not. So for that, what we can do, we have to run one command. Okay, so let me tell you what is the command exactly. So let's see what is the command, okay, to verify that the installation is done or not. So click here and paste this command. Okay, pong. So you given that command ping and you are getting pong. That means it is up and running. That's it. So our Redis cache is ready. Now how to integrate this cache with Spring Boot application? So let's see that installation of the Redis cache. After this, we will see into the code. Now let's integrate that Redis cache with Spring Boot application. Okay, so to save the time, I have already created Spring Boot application. Okay, in which I have created one controller called as order controller and service called as a order service, in which I am performing a CRUD operation. Okay, so like update, delete, find all and all. Okay, so this is a service. And the second thing is we have controller. Okay, let me show you. In the controller we have some endpoints, okay, to get the data, to delete the data, or to update the data, right? And now the next thing is, this is simple Spring Boot application. Now the thing is, we have to add some dependencies to integrate with the cache. So let me tell you what are the dependencies. Okay, so these two dependencies that we needed, one is Spring Boot starter data Redis, and another is Spring Boot starter cache. Don't worry about this code, I will share the GitHub link. Okay, so I'm just copying this and go to the pom.xml and paste here. Let's paste this. That's it. Okay, so what's wrong? Okay, that's it. Okay, so we have added both the dependencies. Now what is next? Okay, what is the next? So let's see. Okay, so apart from this we have that order. Okay, order, and in which we have taken that ID, description and amount, and this should be implemented from the serializable. Apart from this, we need application.property. Inside the application.property, we need that database specific properties. So I'm using here Postgres. Okay, and the next thing is we need some Redis specific properties. So let me show you. So these are the properties in which that host is equal to localhost, port is equal to 6379. Basically, this is the address or this is the port of that Redis database. Sorry, Redis cache. Okay, because as we know, we already run that application or that Redis cache independently on this port. Okay, and here cache type is Redis and time to live. So these are the 60,000 milliseconds. That means 6 minutes. It means that data will be in the cache for 16 or 6 minutes. Okay, 6 minutes. After this, that cache will get empty. That's it. And here we are providing that don't store that null values. Okay, don't store null values. So null value is equal to false. That's it. Now this is all about the configuration. Apart from this, we need one another annotation called as a @enable caching. That's it. Now here our cache is ready, but right now we haven't applied this cache. So without applying the cache, let's see how our application is behave. Okay, so first open order service, and if you see here in the order service, we have find by ID and find all, right? So let me put here sysout statement. So data is fetching from database. That's it. That means whenever we call this find all method, then that statement will get printed. Okay, so let's see, will it work or not? So let's start the application. Application started. Now let's store some orders. Okay, so let me select here post. Now in the body we have given that ID, description and amount. Okay, ID, description and amount. That's it. Now send. Okay, it is saved successfully. Now again send another to send it. Now it's working perfectly. Now get this. Okay, so get all the details, all the orders. So I'm calling get, send it. Now you can see we are getting that both the objects. Okay, both the objects. And let's see here. If you see here, it is printing that fetching data from the database. Okay, data is fetching from the database. That's it. Actually, there are two statements here, right? Okay. Anyway, so both the statements are here. Let me clear this. Let me hit it again. Now you can see again the same statement. Let me clear this again. Let's hit. Okay, so you can see that statements are here again and again because we are hitting to database at every time. Now next thing is let's apply that caching. Okay, so to apply the caching, it's very easy. Let's say I want to apply cache here at direct cacheable, and you can provide here any name of that cache. Let's say my cache. Okay, so what it will do, it will create a cache object by using this name my cache. Okay, and whenever we call this find all method, then it will first check inside that my cache. If data is there, then it will return. Otherwise it will call to the database. Basically it will execute that method. Okay, that's it. Now let's restart the application. Okay, it is rebooted. Now let's hit the application. Okay, okay, so first we have to store some records here. Okay, so click on post. Let's send it. Okay, that's it. Now click on the get all. So let's hit on the get all. Okay, now you can see we are getting this both the products. Okay, both the products. Now the next thing is let's see inside the okay logs. You can see data is fetching from the database. That both the lines are printing here. From where? From that order service. So that means it is hitting to the our database. Now let's hit again. Now again we are getting same data, and let's check into the logs again. Now second time it is not printing this. That means it is not hitting this or it is not fetching the data from the database. Instead of that, it is picking the data from the my cache. The next benefit of that cache is it's a distributed cache, or it's independently or individually deployed. That means if we stop this application, okay, let me stop this application and let me start that application again. Okay, we started that application again. Now let's hit that URL again. Now you can see we are getting the same data, but here it is not calling this lines. The reason behind is that cache is deployed independently. It is holding the data. Even that application is restarted, still we are getting the data. Okay, so that is a in that way that Redis is caching. Apart from this, there are some another annotation. So let me show you @cache. Okay, so @cache evict is there, then @cache put is there. So these are the some another annotations that we need to know. Okay, there is a cache put also. So for that annotation, I will create another separate video, because if we do this thing here, then that video's length will get extended. If you like this video, so please share and subscribe to my channel, and please do the comment so I will get the motivation, and I will add some another amazing videos. Okay, so thanks for watching the video.